How's everybody doing?
It's a good day.
Yes.
Saw Chris was on the move.
Yeah.
You know what we should have done is got Jonathan or somebody to join us on the front end to play a little music while we welcome folks next year. Note to self for next year.
We could have Andrew sing for us.
Well, let's do. All right. Do
No, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
you know Holly Jolly Christmas? Okay, come on.
Just say no.
I know the Holly Jolly part.
Okay, here.
It's not coming through, Ross.
Yeah, Andrew looks like he's not going to do it.
You have to figure out how to tie an amp into the Zoom call, so it comes through nice and clean.
Yeah. Well, the ideas for next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll give folks about one more minute and jump in. Chris, is that a background or is that your real tree? That's your real tree.
It is our real tree. It might take up about a fourth of our living room.
That's
It doesn't
awesome.
hit the ceiling, but it looks like it from this
Yeah.
angle.
I have a tiny tree. Ah,
Is that the same tree that I saw on Doling It Out?
It is, yeah. It's always fun bringing trees home in New York.
Did you get looks from people?
We actually we brought it home on our car this year, but we usually drag it down the street or it's on my shoulder, which is not an easy thing.
So it was on top of your car?
It was on the car this year, yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't
I
have
like
a
it.
Ross,
car.
I thought you were going to ask him if that was his real fire at first.
Is that your real fire? Do you have real fire in New York?
Do not have a real fire.
No.
Frowned upon.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
I'd like to call out my decorations because I worked hard on them. But this over here, that is a Jelly of the Month Club package. So
Very nice.
Where's that from, Andrew?
Jelly.
Man, awesome colleagues, awesome people I work with. Send it to me.
No, that was
The best.
I had nothing to do with it, so I wasn't looking for a pat on the back. Apparently somebody else did.
Yeah.
There's got to be
What's the best flavor in there, Andrew?
French onion jam, I think is what I'm most excited about.
French.
Okay.
I think
Meatloaf.
cherry, yeah, there's like a cherry tart that I'm looking to get into a little later.
Well, so does Ben Swaby get to keep his $10?
Yes, because this is not a real fire.
Ah, all right.
That's too
Well,
bad.
yeah, too bad. Sorry, Mr. Swaby. All right. Well, welcome to our annual Fireside. I know it's a busy time of year, and so I believe that we are recording this for those that aren't able to join. For those that are, thanks for taking time out. We're really glad that you're here. We know that things are probably could not be any busier, so we want to be respectful of your time. We're going to try and keep it to 30 minutes, and we're going to take a little bit of a different approach this year. So for those of you that have been with us in previous years, you'll notice that we're gonna pass the torch and share from some different perspectives. So our agenda for today, want to give Thanksgiving for a couple things. You're going to hear updates from the team here. And then we'll end just by sharing what our prayer is for your churches and for his good and his glory. So I want to start by a little Thanksgiving. I threw this slide in last minute, but this was from a Zoom call that we had as a team, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, earlier in December. I think we're missing maybe half a dozen or so people from our team, and then several of our support cast from Cass, who helps us with HR and IT and people stuff and and finance and accounting and lots of different things. But I want to give a shout out to this team, to the person on this team I am so grateful to work with him every day. I know that you all have some interaction with different folks on the team, but I'm really grateful for the way that we serve, and that I look forward to serving alongside this team. It's really a fantastic team. I also want to share we finished our first year at Cass. We're halfway through our second year, and I've got to say, I know I've said this, you've probably heard me say this several times, but it's been a really great partnership. And so when you called me November of 2 or 3 years ago or whatever, and I said no thanks, and you said hang on, let's talk. I'm really grateful that you did. Cass has exceeded expectations by far for me, and I think that I could say that on behalf of the team as well. So for those of you that are banking with Cass Bank, our sister company, I want to say thanks. If you haven't and are open to, some people who love Jesus and have served the bank for, they're in their third decade, we'd love to serve you in that way. But I want to say thanks for how they've served us and welcomed us into the family. For our partner churches, we've had the privilege of bringing on dozens of partner churches this year. We've seen dozens go live. We've had a really healthy churn. So, and some of the churn that we're seeing, it's we're grateful that when churches partner with us, that we have the ability to work for hopefully a long time together. So a highlight for me, I was able to go on campus with several of our partner churches this year. Some of them who've been with TouchPoint longer than I have, and I'm in my 7th year. But it's really fun when we're able to see how you're impacting your communities, because we see ourselves as an extension of your staff. We see ourselves as, being on point on ministry with you. And so we're super grateful for it. So for our time together today, that's it from me. We want to take most of our time to share from the perspective of our team. But before I introduce Carla to you, I need to let you know that Haley has historically led our training, and we have grown, and Haley is focusing more on marketing. We've asked her to pick up more responsibility in marketing. She's continuing to serve on our leadership team, and but I didn't want anybody on this call who connects Haley with our training efforts to wonder why she's not on here. We have added Carla to our team, which I'm really excited about. Carla, I didn't even get a chance to talk to you much about your introduction, but I remember when we first met, reading about your background, serving for the last, 20-ish years doing training and learning development with a number, with corporations that we're eager to apply that to to TouchPoint. We're grateful that all that you're bringing to us. And so I'll turn it over to you. But before I do, did I read correctly that you serve on the security team at your church, and you have for like 12 years?
Yes, I do. My husband and I at Waypoint, kind of close to TouchPoint, but Waypoint here in St. Charles, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. Yes. And we love it.
Very cool. The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Ross. I'm so thrilled and thankful to be a part of TouchPoint. And we have some exciting things planned for training in the coming year. We're in the process right now of revising and re-recording the videos, and plus updating the documentation, and hopefully in some creative ways to improve and enhance the learning experience, and also so we can keep up with the new features. So I hope that you all are as excited as I am for what's to come in 2024 for training. So now, that was really quick. So I would like to hand it off to Andrew now. Now, most of you know Andrew. He is going to share with you what's new in consulting and some church partners examples and some updates.
All right, that's right. So to kick things off, just real quick, I want to talk about a little bit of consulting by the numbers. So what did 2023 look like on the consulting team? So we delivered over 1,200 hours of consulting. So for those of you that don't know or maybe aren't aware, with the consulting team here at TouchPoint, it is our job to come alongside your church and to facilitate really whatever it is that you need to do within TouchPoint. Maybe that's a new initiative, new registration form, new capital campaign, whatever it might be. It's our job to help you accomplish that through the system. We've also, among those 1,200 hours, that was dispersed among about 70 different churches that utilize consulting services. We also, consulting falls, or the onboarding process falls under the umbrella of consulting. And so we have, to date, this year, we have brought on 30 new churches with about, I think about 15 yet to go or so. We did 26 on-site consulting engagements. So that's where either myself or a member of our team came alongside you on-site with you to have those conversations, and kind of almost like an enhanced training, really. It's not just, it's not just, hey, you know, what can the system do? It's how will my church use what the system can do? And so that's a lot of what that on-site is. And then my favorite number, the smallest number, but my favorite, 2 new team members for the consulting team, gives us all kinds of bandwidth to do new and interesting things, which transitions into my favorite project that we did in 2023. This is something that I would like to see become a big part of what we do in consulting, and that is what we call a database audit. About 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, when Chris and I were sitting down to talk about what this consulting thing was for TouchPoint, this was one of the projects that we discussed right out of the gate. Just doing an audit of a database for a church on a church's behalf to say, hey, what are we doing well? What are we missing? Where are the gaps? How can we improve? And what can we do better? So we got to do our first one of these database audits. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen there, there's a big list that's been color-coded. That list, it gets cut off there, but it has about 70 different, a little over 70 different components of the database audit, where I just went through the database and I said, hey, here's, check the box on this. This church is doing great on this, or this portion right here. Hey, why aren't we using that? And then I utilize that in a follow-up call with the church to say, hey, here's what I found in your database. Here are the things that you're doing great. And hey, let's talk about this other component, this other concept that maybe you're not even aware of. We move quick here at TouchPoint. As a lot of you know, we're enhancing features, adding new features all the time. And so for those of you that have been, with TouchPoint for 2, 3, 4 years, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe it's time to do a database audit and have a member of our team facilitate that for you. So with that, another project that is very common on the consulting teams, these are typically longer engagements, but we like to do, we call these dashboard consulting, where we will put together some reports. Maybe you're thinking like, hey, we have great, we have the data in the database, but we'd like to see it in a little bit different format. So we can come alongside you. My colleague, Mike Smith, want to give him a shout out. He manages the majority of these and just does a phenomenal job. He's been able to come up with some great solutions for our church partners. What you're seeing on your screen, this was a finance dashboard. All the numbers have been redacted, of course, but just helping that church to internalize and see their data the way that they want to see it. And then the last one here was a similar project that we did for a church in Dalton, Georgia, and they just wanted to see some numbers on different membership type numbers. And so on that next slide, I believe I included, consulting at touchpointsoftware.com. So if you're interested in these services, you'd like to know more, we are here to help. We'd love to come alongside. That is consulting at touchpointsoftware.com. Give us a holler and we'll get that set up.
All right. So I get to share, for those that don't know me, my name is Chris Dolan. I oversee product and services at TouchPoint. And so I get to share a few exciting things that are coming down the pipeline and that you can expect to see in the new year. So this first one is something that we talked about a lot at Summit. This is the new report builder. And so what you're seeing here is the ability to add and edit columns. It's basically going to replace the existing report builder tool and let you create not just exports that have kind of one-to-one to a database field, but what I would consider a calculated column, like the total amount given to a fund or something like that. It's found from the blue toolbar. So everywhere the blue toolbar exists, you'll be able to add those custom reports. Really easy to do with a nice graphic user interface to be able to select those columns and create that report. It's giving you a preview here, and then this shows you what it looks like to run that full report where you'll get an export of the data. The next slide you'll see is the new mobile app. Really excited, been partnering with a number of churches to get this live for them. We have a number of churches going live either later towards the end of this year into the beginning of the year. What you're seeing here is the new redesigned home screen where it's an engaging feed that's personalized to the user based on what they are interested in and what they are following. On the next slide, you'll see me clicking through some of the items in the footer. So this is a prayer request feed. And then I go into the events listing that are organized by categories. Here is giving, and you'll see how quick and easy it is to give. It has somebody already authenticated. Their payment method is already stored. And then media has all been redesigned. On the next slide, you'll see things around the profile. So the profile page has been completely redesigned. You can edit your profile. You can see your basic information, your involvements, and so much more about yourself. And this is really great too, as you're looking at other people utilizing some tools that are on the next slide. We've redesigned the whole menu. So task and notes has been completely rebuilt from the ground up. Also, directories has been rebuilt from the ground up. Really gives some powerful tools that help a large church feel small and stay connected. Some really powerful tools that help your staff follow up with people, minister to them out in the field where they can take those notes, record them in the database. Everybody knows staff is busy doing all these things. The hardest part is getting that information back into the database, and we have made it as easy as possible through the redesign of these new tools. So we're really excited about the way this is coming. We are hard at work on a few features that were in 2.0 that we're still kind of redesigning and rebuilding, at which point early in the year, we hope to be opening this up to the next round of churches. Right now, we've got about somewhere between 1 and 2 dozen churches that are in various stages of live and testing apps. And we plan to open that up even more broadly in the new year. So stay tuned. And we're just really excited about the engagement opportunities that this app has to really help your congregants stay connected and know what's going on in the church. And then the last piece, you probably haven't heard me talk much about this. We did mention it at Summit, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek since this is coming along so nicely. This is a brand new registration form. We are actually re-architecting registrations. This is going to be the foundation for what is to come with all of our registration forms. And as you can see, you know, you may have missed that. Some of these GIFs are a little bit quick, but it's a redesign in terms of how you build those forms. The messages page has all been laid out. We're separating out the confirmation message from the message to the alert to the staff person. The settings have all been reorganized, and there's dynamic settings. The control of everything on that form is all managed right here in this one easy questions page. Adding questions has never been easier. There's new features around adding somebody to an involvement, adding conditional logic, drag and drop. Just super easy to create, super easy to kind of see what it's going to look like, because the preview mode and the actual building of the form have been combined, as you could see on that page. So this is a 3-step project. And as you can see, this is all the back end. We are hard at work on redoing the front end of it. Some cleaned up user interface to make it super easy to use. And then the third part is some really powerful new ways of viewing the data and managing the data around those registrations. So we hope to have this again in testing in the early part of the year as well, and are super excited about some really great new features that are coming related to registrations. So those are the 3 that I want to highlight. There's many more things. If you're not subscribed to our blog, I highly encourage you to do that. We're going to be rolling out these plus some other features in January, kind of behind the scenes, where we'll be turning it on for churches to be able to beta test before we roll it out to all of our partner churches. So stay tuned for some blog posts around that. And we're just going to continue to innovate in the new year. So shout out to the great development team and product team who has helped pull together the details and the spec on these things, and the developers who, these are people that love serving the church, and they don't get the pleasure that we get to interact with you on a day-to-day basis, but just love that their efforts get to help you do church better. And so thank you to them, and I will turn it over to Morgan, who's going to share some updates on where we are with TouchPoint Giving.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, everybody. So as Ross said, 2023 was the first full year of CAS and Give and TouchPoint coming together. So I just wanted to take a minute to say, number one, thank you. And number two, this has truly been, the most rewarding, enjoyable, and if I can say it, fun year of my career. Getting to work with the team here, all of our partner churches, getting to travel out to some of those churches with Ross and with Chris, get to being able to see what you all are doing in your communities has just been amazing. So thank you for that. And also I should say, Ross, thank you for taking that phone call and not hanging up on me. It's been a ride so far. Excuse me. And to that point, I wanted to just welcome some of our newest partner churches. It's been a great year of growth for TouchPoint. I wanted to say, just a heartfelt thank you for the trust that you put in us each and every day. That goes from everyone from our founding church, Bellevue, to all the churches listed here that joined us this year. It's been a blast. We've also experienced some amazing growth in TouchPoint Giving. 2023 was our first year of TouchPoint Giving's existence. And the response from all of you has been fantastic. Here is a list of some of the churches that have partnered with us on the TouchPoint Giving side of things. And we take it very, very seriously that you put that trust in us when it comes to your finances. I also feel like I should say, I just uploaded this list into a word cloud. So if your name is smaller on here, that is by no means importance. It's just how the software spit it out. So thank you. The other thing, just to put in perspective, the growth that we've had in TouchPoint Giving, we're expecting another 13 to 15 churches coming live with us in the early part of January. And that will actually help us surpass an annualized number of over $100 million in generosity. And we should see that number in the early part of 2024. So it's just been amazing. And once again, thank you. The other item I'm very, very excited, and thank you, Chris, for helping so much on this, is we're currently rolling out our first 3 new giving reports. These reports are really intended to just help you all do ministry better. They're pastoral tools to help you understand what your generosity is doing in your church. And so for those of you that haven't seen those yet and are interested, please shoot me an email. I'd love to set up time to chat and get those tools in all of your hands as soon as possible. And with that, I will turn it back over to Ross.
So as we wrap, I had a slide that popped up and it was our purpose statement. And I recognized as I read it, I'm like, it's not a purpose statement. I mean, that is our prayer for, like you, how we invest our vocation, how we invest our Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And let's be honest, it's 24 hours a day, anytime that there's a need and we can jump in. What drives us, our prayer, is to make people known in your church, in as many churches as we have the ability to. So this is something that we are incredibly grateful for. And I don't think our team has even seen the slide, because I just literally, right before this, I scratched through it and I said, it's our prayer. It's not our purpose. And so we take what we do seriously. We We love what we get to do. We're grateful to do it with you. So with that, we have a couple announcements. I can't see our chatter, so I think that there were some questions, but I think they got answered online. So if you all see otherwise, let me know from a Q&A perspective. But Mark, this is a save the date. Mark your calendars to join us in Birmingham at Vestavia Hills for Summit next year. We hope that you can join us. We are anticipating that it's going to be, Lord willing, our largest summit to date. We're excited to be in Birmingham. The team at Vestavia Hills they've already been incredibly gracious hosts to us and our team as we planned. So mark your calendar. We'll send out a more specific save the date because it'll likely be for 3 days during that week of September 16th through 20th. So more information to come, but I'm going to leave this slide up for just a second. So if you have your calendars out, you can block them off for next September so you can join us. With that, I'm looking at my chatter to see if there were any unanswered questions on there. I don't see anything from the team on our chat. So with that, am I missing anything? Chris, Morgan, Andrew, Carla, are we good? All right. Well, I know you all are so busy. Thank you for letting us be a partner in ministry with you. We're so grateful. Merry Christmas from our team to yours. We love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Love you all.